The main challenge of Imam Reza in the beginning of his imamat was with a few of his father's representatives who refused to accept him as the next imam after Imam Kazim. They were among the other representatives of Imam Kazim in his network of representatives across the Islamic territory. They were responsible for guiding the Shias according to the Imam's teachings and advice, collecting their obligatory Islamic dues, and resolving issues among the Shias in their community. They were among the Shia scholars who were spreading the narrations of the Shia Imams and were strong in their Islamic knowledge. For around 4 years during the imprisonment of Imam Kazim, they did not transfer the collected obligatory dues from their communities to Imam Kazim, nor spent it according to his guidance. The stored wealth in their possession became significant and was enough to entice them against their duties. Thus, when Imam Reza asked them to transfer the collected wealth to him as the next imam, they refused. They instead denied the Imamat of Imam Reza by denying the martyrdom of Imam Kazim. They claimed that Imam Kazim was not martyred but instead was the promised Mahdi by the Prophet and had just disappeared from the eyes. These representatives were able to gather some support from their Shia communities and separated themselves from the main Shias who accepted Imam Reza as the next imam. This faction of Shia was known as Vaghefi, or those who stopped at the Imamat of Imam Kazim. The denial of Imam Kazim's martyrdom by the Vaghefis was against clear historical evidence, as many had witnessed the martyrdom of Imam Kazim and had attended his burial. For example, right after Imam Kazim's martyrdom, Sindi ibn Shahak, who poisoned the Imam, tried to portray the Imam's martyrdom as a natural death. He gathered more than 50 people in his house to display the Imam's body. He asked them to testify that the Imam's body did not have any sign of injury or suffocation. He later put the Imam's corpse on the bridge of Baghdad over the Tigris River to disrespect the Imam in the Shia belief. The people of Baghdad visited the Imam's corpse to witness his demise. Later, when Harun's uncle Sulaiman ibn Abi Ja'far was informed of Sindi ibn Shahak's actions, he found it against the political favors of the Abbasid government, as this could trigger Shias, who were in large number in Baghdad and other cities, to rise up against the government. Thus, he sent his agents to take the Imam's corpse from Sindi ibn Shahak's soldiers. He then held a big burial ceremony for the Imam where crowds of Muslims participated. Despite clear evidence about the martyrdom of Imam Kazim, the Vaghefis insisted in their belief and continued their ignorance. The Vaghefi faction began with 3 of Imam Kazim's representatives whose monetary interests were involved. They were able to gather some supporters from the Shias as they had social acceptance in their communities. They were also known as scholars who would recite the narrations from the Shia Imams. They fabricated narrations from Imam Sadiq and the other Shia Imams in their own favor to prove their false claim that Imam Kazim was the promised Mahdi and was still alive. They also misused vague narrations from the Shia Imams and interpreted them to their benefit. Among their fallacy was to use Imam Kazim's name Musa and relate it to the story of Prophet Moses, who isolated and disappeared from his nation for around 40 days. They concluded that Imam Kazim had disappeared temporarily and would later appear to the people. While Imam Reza had not yet publicly declared his imamat, he did not stay silent in confrontation with the Vaghefis who branched from the Shia community. Imam Reza debated with the leaders and the followers of the Vaghefis on multiple occasions to guide them. The Imam proved to them that his father was no longer alive and his inheritance had been distributed amongst his children. The Imam also corrected fabricated narrations by the Vaghefis. Further, he interpreted the true meaning of the vague narrations that were misused by the Vaghefis. The Imam would also provide them with the knowledge of the unseen to prove his divine knowledge, which was a sign of the Shia Imams. Overall, the Imam was able to guide many of the Vaghefis to his imamat. The remaining Vaghefis caused trouble for Imam Reza during his imamat and instilled doubts in the hearts of his Shia followers. They looked for any excuse to blame the Imam and justify their own belief. Once they told the Imam that if he is the righteous Imam, why doesn't he declare his imamat publicly? The Imam responded that he was following the Prophet, who started his mission of prophethood in hiding. They also challenged the Imamat of Imam Reza in the society, as he did not have any sons to inherit his imamat in the future. Imam Reza denied their accusation and told them that God would bless him with a son who would be the next Imam after him. Imam Reza's son Imam Javad was born when he was 46 years old. After all the accusations, when they insisted on their belief, the Imam cursed the leaders of the Vaghefis and introduced them in the same rank as non-believers due to the lies that they associated to the Shia Imams. The Imam also asked his followers to stop any relationship with the Vaghefis and isolate them in their community. Historically, the Vaghefi ideology did not last long and has become extinct.